everyone, and welcome to our first episode of the CouchCast charity podcast, where today we're very lucky to be joined by a very special guest, Mr. Jon Matteson. Hey, John.
Good afternoon or good morning, or from wherever you are. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on, John, and hope you're doing well. So how are you in our strange time?
I'm doing well. In the new strange time. I'm doing okay. I'm very, very lucky to have Robert, a great roommate who is young and wants to stay healthy and positive, and I live in a very my family is far away from me, but I live in a very warm and bright place. So I feel extremely lucky.
That's always good.
Yeah.
The weather can affect your mood as well, especially when you're stuck indoors.
Oh yeah, I think it really affects me. Yeah. Especially. So, I used to live in Chicago, and it really affected me there.
Just got a few questions here for you. So,
awesome. I'm ready.
So the first question is, how did you first get into acting?
I started acting when I was around 14. When I was a kid, like a really young kid, I wanted to be a priest for a very long time. I think I was attracted to the spiritual nature of being a priest and how it felt like a calling. And I liked the fact that it was someone who inspired a lot of people. And then as I got older, a combination of seeing a lot of hypocrisy in at least one of my local churches and puberty, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, or at least I want to see what else is out there. And then I took a drama class, and immediately after that, I was like, this is it. I found my home. I found people who are weird and open and vulnerable and like me. Yeah. I didn't realize that exactly was what drew me to it at the time, but it was later on as I analyzed my younger self. I was drawn to people who were unique and felt the urge to express themselves in different ways. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted that to be a part of my life in every way. And yeah, I just followed it until the end.
That's one of the best things about kind of theater and acting and stuff. It's the openness and so many connections you can get from it from so many different people.
100%. It's like people, I don't know if we celebrate vulnerability, at least not in my country.
Yeah.
And theater was a place where kids would be are rewarded when they're vulnerable or when they follow their instincts or when they're weird or funny. And I responded to that right away.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how sometimes you see children from a young age, they're it was in your head, you're like, I want to be a priest.
Yeah.
They have their heart so set on something, and then sometimes they completely shift and they're like, what do I do now? But it's really cool how you got straight into theater and acting and you were like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. I think in a way I sort of prepped my parents for wanting to be an actor, because since I wanted to be a priest for so long, where they were like, well, at least as an actor he'll be making slightly more money. But no, they were really, really supportive.
Always good.
Yeah, it was. Whenever I see videos of kids at restaurants singing show tunes or Grease or being weird in public and taking risks, I think I immediately that was me as a kid. Yeah.
That's really cool. So did you have any sort of special influences or role models growing up?
Yeah, I think I mean I really loved Robin Williams
Yeah,
as a kid. I used to memorize all of Robin Williams's stand-up, and I had Aladdin completely memorized, the whole movie from front to back. There was also this, because I wanted to be a priest at first, there was also this
yeah.
Christian comedian that I memorized a lot of his stuff named Mark Lowry. I don't think most people know him
No,
very
I've
much,
never heard of him.
because I wasn't allowed to listen to like uh, Eddie Murphy stand up, or uh, like really vulgar stand up. I
Yeah,
started listening to that first. Oh, and I remember what I used to do with my mom, and uh, when we would, I don't know, go to the movies on the weekend or something, we would stop by like Barnes and Noble, which was a bookstore,
yeah,
and we would go to and I would always go straight to like the music section or the comedy section, and I would find like a stand-up CD or a musical theater CD that I didn't recognize, and I would grab it and listen
yeah,
to it. So I think those stand-up comedians and those like great performers, especially like Robin Williams, Gene Wilder as well was a big
yeah,
influence on me. Any actor who, and I think this is still the case, who sort of leads, um, comedic actors who lead with sincerity, I think,
yeah,
um, are really important to me. And yeah, I really responded to it because it felt like that was the most honest yet difficult and effective thing.
yeah.
So yeah, those are some of my influences anyway.
I know what you mean. It's kind of difficult. Sometimes you get the balance of comedian who's always the wacky, zany, really out there, and there's no kind of depth. But then Robin Williams, Gene Wilder, they can be crazy and funny and like Mrs. Doubtfire. But then you see the sincerity as well. So there's a deeper level to it.
Yeah, yeah. There's this book out there called Thinking Shakespeare, and they talk about comedy in
Yeah,
it. Talk about Shakespeare's comedy, and there's this guy who's an American director, I think Joe Papp, who directed at the Public Theater in New York. I don't know if he's still alive or not. I think he is. I don't know. I hope. I don't know. But anyway, he had an analogy about wit, and he used to drink Irish coffee, and uh, he described wit in Shakespeare as like his Irish coffee, where there would be cream on the top, but beneath it is this boiling undercurrent of darkness.
yeah,
And I feel that way a lot about Shakespeare's wit and comedy in general, that no matter what comedy is there, there's always truth underneath it. And
yeah.
that's, or pain or sadness or happiness or whatever truth that is. And that's what makes it really funny.
Yeah, that's very true. Like in Robin Williams' case, no one
Yes.
ever saw the struggles he was going through in his day-to-day life until the tragedy at
Yeah.
the end of his life. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I have a hard, time thinking about. I remember when that happened. I was performing on a cruise ship, and we were about to go on for a show, and my mom called me like right 5 minutes before it happened, telling me like Robin Williams died. It's amazing that like an artist can have that much of an impact on like 3 or 4 generations of people,
Yeah.
that you can remember where you are when you found out that Robin Williams died. And I don't think a lot of artists have that kind of impact anymore.
It is quite crazy. Like it was all over the world. And as you say,
Yeah.
so many different generations. Like me, myself, and you grew up in different generations. We both grew up watching his movies
Yeah.
and the stand-up shows.
Yeah. 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 He was the greatest. Anyway.
So we've been talking about kind of positive role models or people who've inspired you, but along the way, was there anyone who kind of said, "Oh, John, don't do that," or kind of tried to dissuade you from it?
Uh, oh, sure. But I don't remember who they are. Um, I guess um, I think that's a really good question. As I went along the way, there are lots of people who give you their advice. Everyone always has advice. But I think what really helped me along the way is I picked what worked for me and what like stuck with me. There was definitely people who were like, you shouldn't do this. I sincerely can't remember. All I remember is there was like a piano teacher as a kid who had a negative impact on me. But I don't remember, I don't even remember his name or what he said. I remember I was lucky enough to have so many good people along the way, at least to counterbalance that.
Yeah.
That I would sort of hold on to the good and sort of release or let go of the bad. And that doesn't always happen right away. Sometimes it takes years or months to let go of those people and the things they say to you. But you have to just focus on why you love to do what you love and to pursue it as much as possible and to create as much as possible. And I think everything else will fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
Because they're just lies, you know? And I don't think lies last.
No. Well, that's really inspirational one. And it's a good analogy because there's something about society where you could give someone 1,000 compliments and one kind of, not insult, but one negative comment. And that is the one that sticks with them, that sticks in their brain. And all the 1,000 compliments are blown away by it.
Yeah, I think if you think about why does it stick with you? Like, if I think about things that really bothered me growing up and why they stuck with me, like for a while I had a like a complex about my teeth, you know?
Yeah.
And then as like a freshman or a junior in college, I got adult braces, and I had adult braces for 2 years. And even now, like my teeth are kind of like going back a little bit to like, I got these fangs that are trying to escape my mouth. But that's the thing. It's like it comes from our own fears and our own insecurities. And if we think about those things and where they're coming from, like think about like your favorite actors or favorite performers. Sometimes what we consider the most attractive people, they're not perfect. They're interesting looking. Like Adrian, what's his name? Adrian, the guy who played the new Kylo Ren in the Star Wars movies.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, sorry.
Yeah.
Adam Driver, like he's an interesting looking guy. Or like Benedict Cumberbatch, like these are very like interesting looking men, very attractive, considered generally. So those insults that people say that linger, I think if you think about, first of all, if somebody tries to be mean to me, what's really helps me as an adult is I try to like think about why they would say something like that, and I try to understand that person. And usually, if I dive deeper into that person in my head and imagine who they are and where they're coming from, I realize that they're insecure or they're afraid, because everyone's afraid. And I pity them, and then I cut them out of my life.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a surgeon when it comes to that, unfortunately. I mean, if someone is mean or heartless to me, I'm sort of ruthless. I just cut them out.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an interesting point, because what I was saying about the thing that sticks with you, the negative that sticks with you, is more kind of because not necessarily it's true, but it's you that overthinks that and worries about it and cares about it more than anyone else does.
Yeah. And there's so many more. I think if you can find what you love to do and what you love and focus on that, that is tied to what people love the most about you. That,
Yeah.
like, for example, you perform and then you love to perform, people will say that you come alive when you do
Mhm.
it. And that's what attracts people to you. Whatever that is, whatever that thing is for you, if it's math or if it's
No, it wouldn't be mine anyway.
hiking, yeah, right about me either. But that doesn't have to be performing. Whatever
Yeah.
you love or this person loves to do, following that. Um, I think you'll find whatever your best features are, and anything that people say that are negative, fuck them.
Very literal, but very true.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're kind of delighted that you weren't put off by any negative influences because it's afforded you so many great opportunities. Like you've worked with the Second City, you've talked about the tours with on the Norwegian Gem, the cruise,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and your solo shows and guest star in Chicago Fire, and then with Team Starkid probably most recently. So all those great opportunities that maybe I highly doubtful, but maybe someone who would have more dwelled on the negative and thought I can't do this, I shouldn't do this, wouldn't have pursued with it.
Well, I think it's a lot of luck and a lot of persistence. Um, like I auditioned for the Second City 3 times. Um, I auditioned for the cruise ships twice, and I didn't make it the first time. I auditioned for their touring company lots of times in their touring company in the States, and I never got in. Um, I auditioned for Chicago Fire. I think I was an intern at the casting company that cast for Chicago Fire, and I still didn't get cast in an episode until, like, no exaggeration, probably my 6th time auditioning for them.
Huh?
Um, it's so along the way you hear a lot of no's,
Mhm.
but you have to, that's sort of part of the deal of being an actor.
Yeah.
You can try to control, and you're always trying to give yourself an edge as much as possible and hone your craft. And you can always try to pick apart your performance, and that's fine, but it has its time, and then you let it go. But it's a lot of like self-discovery and a lot of persistence, and a lot of time. Like even
Yeah.
Starkid, I never expected to be a part of it. And when I met Jeff and Lauren, I did this show at the Annoyance Theater called The Power of Prom, which I love. The Annoyance Theater. If you can find a theater company that makes you feel at home and really supports you, uh, do as much work as you can there and grow there. But I met Jeff and Lauren there. I didn't really know about Starkid. I became friends with them, and then I worked with Jeff, and uh, I worked with Nick on a show, and then Nick saw me perform in a showcase that was with Brian and Meredith. It was like an SNL showcase. I didn't make SNL, but I did, clearly. But I did meet Nick, and he cast me in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, and that was really lucky for me. So it's just a lot of luck and persistence and having a thick skin and just sort of keep pushing through it.
Yeah. Because the deep love of it and the persistence kind of go hand in hand then.
Yeah,
One drives the other.
absolutely.
You keep on going. I have a couple more questions here, and this is
Yeah.
gonna be I don't know, this is gonna be a difficult one probably, but what would
Okay.
be your proudest career achievement so far?
Um, it's really tough. Um, I think I think it comes in stages, like life comes in stages, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like every 3 or 5 years there was like a life-changing moment. Um, I I was really, really proud of The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals.
Yeah.
I loved that show, and I loved getting to perform with people who were exceedingly talented, and I loved uh, living in LA and sleeping on Jeff's couch, and I felt so sort of free and lucky to get to create something new, and that was probably the proudest moment for me up to this point. I getting to work on this show, Royalties, was a great moment that Nick and Matt Lang wrote.
Yeah.
And getting to work with the director Amy Heckerling, getting to perform in Starkid Homecoming, which it was such a strange experience to be around people who knew each other for 10 years and getting to perform on stage in front of thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
So I think I'd have to pick The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, only because it was what brought me to LA and gave me a lot of, it sort of lit me up.
Yeah.
And gave me a lot of fire to be able to like go find an agent and get an agent, and go find a day job and find an apartment and make it all happen here in LA.
Yeah, it was like the first domino, kind of. Just the domino effect afterwards of
it was one of the dominoes, one of the earlier dominoes at least. But yeah, that was probably it for me.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool, because we're going to segue into more Starkid questions now.
Great.
So most people would know you from Team Starkid, The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, where you played Paul, the lead role. And you were saying you first met Jeff and Lauren, and that's how you kind of get introduced to it. So did you have to audition for the role, or was it just this guy's good?
I did.
You walked into it.
Well, Nick asked me to audition, and he said, but he also saw me do this showcase where I did this TED Talk character that I created in Chicago with a friend of mine, Case Blackwell, and he saw me do that, and he said after he saw me do that, he wanted to work with me in some way, and but he did make me audition. And yeah, I sent in my audition. I was living in Chicago at the time, and I had just moved into a new apartment, and I was like, well, I guess I moved into this new apartment. I'm gonna leave for 3 months. And then after I got that role, I went back and I watched a lot of old Starkid shows.
Yeah.
And sort of just did my homework. I was just sort of thrilled. And I also knew, I was like, I've got to nail this. I've got to really, I've got to really sell the fear of it, and the terror that Paul is experiencing, because everyone is putting so much effort and heart into this show, and I want to make sure I can match it.
Yeah. So was it hard to get into the character of Paul? Because he's in the opening song, he's described as an awful Grinch, and was it hard to get into his character?
No, it wasn't. I mean, I'm not too much of a Grinch, but I think I don't think Paul's a Grinch. I think he's just someone who, there's one thing that he doesn't really like that everyone else seems to like, so it makes him out of place. And so he just sort of wants to be true to himself and doesn't want to lose himself.
Yeah.
And he like that, his dislike of musicals is his only, it's sort of what belongs to him.
I don't like musicals. Watching people sing and dance makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And makes him real, especially when everyone around him who looks the same is turning into singing and dancing doppelgangers.
Yeah.
And it was very much, the plot was very much inspired by Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
is a really amazing horror movie from 1970 something. So I guess and also I've had so many uncomfortable day jobs in my past that it was easy or it was relatively close to home to be able to channel that level of discomfort. So I just used my customer service experience to sort of show my discomfort.
Yeah. That's interesting you said about kind of bringing out the fear in Paul. And there are some moments in the show where you kind of think, how is he keeping a straight face? Like,
Ah,
what do you want, Paul? Jeff is going insane. He's jumping about the place. And you have to sit there and look terrified.
yeah. I think what I was in those moments, what I would do is sort of, one, I was trying to ramp up my fear from a small place to a place that was equal to the next scene, because the journey kind of has to happen in that song only.
Yeah.
I only have that song to get from a little nervous and scared to terrified enough to walk into a coffee shop and scream in front of. So enough terror to walk into a coffee shop and scream in front of strangers.
Hello! Hello! Please, God, I just want a black coffee!
Black coffee, I'm your coffee guy.
No! So I think for me, I was like, I need to ramp up. And so I would just focus on little things that Jeff was saying or doing that would increase that level of terror. Also, if you want to workshop on terror, if you watch the first part of the movie Tusk, starring Justin Long, man, oh man, that actor is underrated when it comes to being terrified. He's really good at it. He's brilliant. But careful if you decide to watch the whole movie because it is a grotesque movie.
Okay.
The second half of the movie.
I'll bear that in mind. So then, did you expect, whenever Nick originally cast you as Paul, did you expect it to have such a wide-reaching kind of effect?
No, not at all. I didn't know what to expect. The only Starkid show I had ever seen live was Firebringing, and I saw it with Jeff, and I was immediately impressed by the level of passion and enthusiasm that the fandom has. But I didn't expect it to be as popular and as wide-reaching as it was.
Yeah.
And I was just extremely grateful, and I still am.
That's really cool because most people might see it as a small kind of theater group that kickstarts all their shows, writes original stuff, but then like Starkid Homecoming, that's just a testament to how wide-reaching it is.
Yeah. It was I don't know. I'm speechless. I'm still relatively new to the whole thing, and I'm just very grateful to be a part of it. It's very, very cool and amazing, and the entire fandom is very open and positive. Thank you for being so welcoming.
And I'm gonna kind of segue on from the fear of Paul. In Black Friday, you got to play Gary Goldstein.
Hi, Gary Goldstein, attorney at law. I was a little further back in line.
And Wiggly.
I love you.
Which are the more insane, evil characters. And even some members of the fandom have started to call Gary Goldstein feral and like wild.
Yeah.
How was that, the switch from Paul to Gary? Was it more fun just being able to let loose, or?
Yeah, it was definitely they're definitely larger characters. Paul was more close to home. I liked that I got to sort of stretch and be bigger, both as Gary and as Wiggly. Wiggly was more of a conversation with Nick, where I had a couple of different ideas of what the voice would be. And Nick, as a director, definitely has, and I think one of the reasons he's such a great director is he kind of has an idea and knows what he wants. And whenever you're making a character, I think it's a conversation with the director and the writers who are there. And so he gave me his concept and where he thought it came from, the voice and the character and what he wanted it to feel like and sound like. And I got a little bit of room. I do not mean to make this a pun, but a little bit of wiggle room to be free and to make the choices I wanted.
Yeah.
And with Gary, I just tried to make my fellow actors break, and I wanted it, and I knew I really only had like one moment, and I wanted it to be as ridiculous and over the top as possible.
Yeah, well, that's very honest, so thank you.
Thanks.
And I think that just about does us for the Starkid questions. So
Cool.
we're going to move on to our new strange time where we're all stuck inside, and
Yes.
we've got some questions about that. So first of all,
Okay.
have you had any unexpected benefits of isolation?
Well, it's definitely making me more creative. I like that because I have a lot more time now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to accomplish more and get some projects done and get some screenplays off the ground or finished. I was writing a poem every day in April, and so that was a nice exercise, and I'm still publishing more. So it's giving me a chance to sort of experiment and expand creatively, and doing video games online. But so yeah, definitely that's been an unexpected benefit.
Yeah.
Again, I'm very, very lucky still to be a part of Starkid, to be able to do these live screenplay readings with Robert and different members of Starkid. Being able the unexpected benefits are getting to the extra time to create, and sharpen some skills that I haven't used in a while. Piano again.
Because I don't think we've ever had a situation where you can basically kind of kick back and relax, but also get stuff done at the same time.
You're forced to stay home. Well, you're forced to stay home if you can.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky, I think, as many people have. I think I feel a sense of responsibility that I have this time and freedom, and so I just want to use it as productively as I can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's okay if you're not inspired, because it is a strange, weird time, and it's okay to be like, there were a couple days last week where, like 3 or 4 days in a row, where it's just where I had this sort of cloud around my thoughts and I couldn't focus. So I think when you're in those moments, you have to sort of push through and get up, get out of your head. Try to go outside, maybe for a walk, while still staying away from people. I think if you're allowed outside. Sunlight is really important. And
So,
water and sleep.
on that topic, would you have any tips or tricks for anyone who's kind of struggling with the whole lockdown or isolation?
I think if you are struggling right now, it's important to talk talk about it with people you trust, like actually vocalize sort of how you're feeling, um, which sort of gets it out of your mind and into your body somehow. Um, if you want to be productive, if you want to get something done, just try to structure your day, making sure that you go to sleep at a certain time, wake up at a certain time, that maybe for this hour of the day, you're only going to write or play piano or study a language or whatever you want to accomplish. Um, but it's also okay. But it's also important and okay to say that I'm going to relax, and I want to do these things that I enjoy doing because there's so much to consume online
Yeah.
Throughout this part of the day. So it's really important to be kind to yourself, but still to think think past all of this, which is difficult to do.
Yeah.
That to say at the end of all of this, what's next for me, whether it's college or school or travel, and what kind of person or what do I want to get done to help me for that next step in my life.
Yeah.
And also, if you're feeling stuck, exercise is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of time when we're very active people generally, and then we are forced to have a sedimentary lifestyle, we can sort of get stuck and get in our heads. And it's so important to get out of your heads and go for a hike or a walk or work out in your apartment with your friend or whatever your version of exercise is, or dancing. There's so many online dancing classes. I was really considering like buying some tap shoes and paying how to tap.
Yeah.
Finding some period of the day when to get those endorphins running and to exercise in some way, because we have to survive.
Yeah.
And get.
I think probably the most important thing is the balance between
Yes.
staying creative and productive, exercising, but also allowing yourself to relax every once in a while. But the balance is the important part.
100%. Yeah.
So a lot of the media has been all the bad news about what's happening. And while you have to hear the bad news because you have to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
But we have some good news.
Oh, great.
So we've got the UK is past the peak of the strange, weird times. And Captain Tom, I don't know if you've heard about this.
No.
Well, Captain Tom is a 100-year-old army veteran from England. And he started a fundraiser when he was 99 to raise as much money as possible for the National Health Service by doing laps of his front garden in isolation. And by the time his 100th birthday rolled past, he raised £33 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
that's incredible.
He was made an honorary colonel on his 100th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is good news. That's incredible. 33 million pounds?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, oh my God.
He got 140,000 birthday cards on his birthday.
Wow.
From people all around the UK for his 100th birthday.
That's awesome.
So it just shows you the power of community and what one person can do.
Yes.
To put people together and make a change, even in the new weird times.
Yes, absolutely. I believe in the power of humanity. Yeah. I think we're going to get through, and I think we're going to be stronger afterwards.
That's what we have to remember. All things have to pass, and it will take time. But everything takes time, but we'll get through it. We will
100%.
get through it.
We will.
And then the US has flattened the curve. So things are still not the greatest there, but the curve has been flattened. So there is progress being made.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're on our way. I hope.
You just need to keep going the way you're going now and not let it
Yeah.
go back to another spike. So
Yeah, I hope so. I think we'll see. But I hope we do.
fingers
I think
crossed.
yeah, right. Everyone stay inside and wear masks and stay positive.
Yeah, that's all we got to do.
Yeah.
And then we hear a lot about losses in
Yeah.
our strange new times, but
Mhm.
the worldwide recovery rate is now over 1.3 million.
Oh, that's terrific. That's incredible.
So there is hope. There is hope.
Yeah. Oh, I think there is hope, and I think they've been doing a lot of testing now. I think they are on their way to a vaccine. I
Yeah.
think. So we're getting there.
We will get there. And then there's different countries. Italy, which was really badly hit, is
Yeah.
now starting to reopen again.
Yes.
New Zealand reported no new transmissions, so they've reopened again. And Spain is
Yes.
letting children out for the first time in a month, and they're reopening again. So they've kind of come out the other end of the tunnel.
Yeah. True. Yeah. There's a light around the corner.
Exactly. We just have to
Yeah.
persevere, and we will get through it. Persevere, follow the rules and guidelines, stay positive.
Yes.
So
Yeah, we will.
that just about does it for the, what do we call it, pandemic positivity sector.
Yeah.
So now I've got a challenge for you,
Okay.
and it's the one word challenge.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a word or a phrase, and you just have to give me the first word that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm ready.
I've got about 15 words here, and I'm just going to throw them at you, and whatever's the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
So first word is Leavenworth.
Prisons.
Starkid.
Okay. Home.
Musicals.
Fun.
Coffee.
Good. Right.
Wiggly.
Evil.
Jeff.
Blim.
Chicago.
Fire.
Hatchetfield.
The first word that came to mind was cool, but I was like, what a boring word, but whatever. Try not to judge myself. Okay. I'm ready.
New York.
City.
Jon Matteson.
Is there.
Inevitable.
Light.
Dream role.
Hamlet. But I've played Hamlet twice.
So
really, my dream role is, what I really want to play is Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster. But that's not, but Hamlet was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. And the next word or phrase is strange new times.
Next, or what's next is what came.
Yeah. And the last phrase that I have for you today is this charity podcast.
Positive.
Very cool. Thank you. And
yeah,
I'm going to take a second to kind of tell what this podcast is going to be for.
Okay.
So the idea is, most people will have heard of a couch to 5K. which
Yeah.
is, it's kind of like a program to get you off the couch, get you moving. So
Hmm.
I've planned for this to be that, but on a way bigger scale. So the couch part is going to be these podcasts and interviews and stuff. And then
Yeah.
for the 5K part, I've decided that I'm going to be virtually cycling because of lockdown, virtually cycling the length of Malin to Mizenhead, which is the most north point in Ireland to the southernmost point in Ireland, all for charity. And I'm hoping to do that
Oh,
in a month. So
how long is that?
it is, I think it's 600 kilometers or more.
Jeez.
So I'm hoping to cycle that virtually, of course, not actually,
Yeah,
in
that's incredible.
a month, which is the time span I've set for it. Even if not, as long as it's done, it's done. And it's all in the name of charity. So
Amazing. That's an amazing goal.
hopefully we can hit it. I hope we will.
I
So
bet you will.
in the description, once this is posted, there are going to be 2 links to Just Giving pages I've made. And the 2 charities are Foyle Hospice, which is here in Derry, and NHS Charities Together, which is a wider range for the whole National Health Service during these times. So that's what this is going to be for.
Wonderful. That's really exciting. I mean, this is a really good idea and a really good cause.
Yeah. I'm so happy you've come on. Thank you for volunteering your time.
It's my pleasure, sincerely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that just does us. Sorry.
Wonderful.
Continue.
No,
Sorry.
I thank you for having me on, and good luck. And this is an amazing cause and a really positive, good way, a good use of energy. So thank you for doing this, and congratulations. It's really yeah, it's really exciting, and I hope you get a lot more guests. And yeah, congrats.
Thank you. And that
Yeah,
just does us for today's episode then. So
cool.
a huge thank you to Jon Matteson for coming on as a guest and volunteering his time. And we're going to end it now with a song. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. And the donation links will be in the description of the video. So thank you and bye.
Bye.